Hello and welcome back to Anime Plus Recaps. Today we recap an anime show called Melancholy of Suzumiya Haruhi, where Kion, the main protagonist, who's a typical high school student, has long given up his belief in the supernatural. However, upon meeting Haruhi Suzumiya, he quickly finds out that it's the supernatural that she is interested in. Kion is interested in his classmate Haruhi Suzumiya, who introduces herself by saying she wants to meet time travelers, aliens, and espers. Kion becomes the first person to solicit a normal conversation from Haruhi and inadvertently gives her the idea of forming her own club, which she names the SOS Brigade. Haruhi recruits Kion and the timid Mikuru Asahina. Yuki Nagato, the sole member of the literature club, remains when the SOS Brigade occupies her club room for their use. Wanting to improve her club room, Haruhi uses Mikuru to extort the Computer Research Society president and obtain a computer for the club room. Haruhi and Mikuru dress up in bunny costumes and hand out flyers promoting the SOS Brigade, but are stopped by the school authorities. Yukai invites Kion to her apartment, where she reveals that she and Haruhi are not ordinary human beings. In an effort to alleviate her boredom, Haruhi enters the SOS Brigade into a baseball tournament. Surya, Taniguchi, Konikita, and Kion's sister are recruited to fill out the team. However, the team is hopelessly inept, and if they lose, Haruhi might destroy the world. To remedy the situation, Yuki uses her powers to alter the course of the game. After the SOS Brigade team achieves victory, Kion, feeling guilty over knocking the opposing team out of the tournament and having no desire to continue a baseball career, persuades Haruhi to forfeit the game. Yuki states she is an alien, explains the data integration thought entity, and reveals that Haruhi has unconscious powers that could destroy and recreate the world on a whim. Haruhi recruits a transfer student named Itsuki Kozumi to the SOS Brigade. On a day off from school, the group splits up to search the city for mysteries, and Mikuru tells Kion she is a time traveler assigned to observe Haruhi. Kion confronts Itsuki, who admits to being an esper working for a secret agency to manage Haruhi's power usage. He confirms Yuki and Mikuru's statements that Haruhi recreated the universe 3 years ago. A distant relative of Itsuki, Keiichi Tamaru, invites the SOS Brigade along with Kion's sister to stay at his newly built island villa. Haruhi is excited at how the villa is a natural setting for a closed circle mystery and makes the rest of the SOS Brigade nervous by speculating on murders that could happen during the trip. On their first day there, they enjoy the facilities and play on the beach. Man, we sure deserve our beach episode of anime. On the second day, they are kept inside by a storm and play in the games room. The next morning, Keiichi's brother Yutaka Tamaru goes missing, and the SOS Brigade members find Keiichi seemingly dead in his room in apparent fulfillment of Haruhi's wish for a closed circle mystery. Kion and Haruhi head outside to confirm Yutaka took the boat, making him an obvious suspect in Keiichi's murder, and Haruhi spies a shadowy figure. Haruhi comes to a startling conclusion about the murder but refrains from sharing it. Itsuki tells Kion that she has probably concluded that the SOS Brigade accidentally killed Keiichi when they broke into his room. However, further deductions lead Haruhi to discover that the murder was a hoax that Itsuki and Keiichi came up with to entertain the guests. Itsuki confides to Kion their purpose was to prevent Haruhi from using her power to cause a real murder, but Kion asserts that it is against Haruhi's nature to wish for someone to die. Haruhi has Kion add a logo of her design to the SOS Brigade website. A student named Emura Kimidori asks the SOS Brigade to find her boyfriend, the Computer Research Society president, who has gone missing. When they fail to immediately find him at his apartment, Haruhi grows bored of the case and leaves. The others discover that he is trapped inside a data entity in a sealed reality. Yuki and Itsuki defeat the data entity and rescue the president. They realize that the logo Haruhi designed was the catalyst for the entity. The president states that he has no girlfriend, leading Kion to suspect Yukai engineered the case to stave off Haruhi's boredom. With winter setting in, Haruhi orders Kion to pick up a heater. With him gone, she takes pictures of Mikuru in various costumes for the movie's DVD cover. Itsuki helps and Yuki is left alone to read. When Kion returns, he finds only Yukai in the club room and falls asleep waiting for the others. He is woken by Haruhi, the only other student who hasn't gone home, putting her cardigan on him to keep him warm. Haruhi is mortified at being caught, but Kion is only interested in the fact that he also has Mikuru's cardigan. Haruhi is in a good mood as she and Kion share an umbrella on the walk home through the rain. The Computer Research Society challenged the SOS Brigade to a computer game they created for the cultural festival, the Day of Sagittarius II. The stakes are the computer Haruhi extorted from them earlier in the year or computers for all the SOS Brigade members if they win. During the contest, Yuki finds out the Computer Research Society cheated by disabling the fog of war on their side and hacks the code to restore it, resulting in the SOS Brigade's victory. Awed by Yuki's hacking skills, the Computer Research Society invites her to spend time with them. On the day of the school's cultural festival, Yuki does fortune-telling and Itsuki stars in a play, Mikuru and Tsuruya run a yakisoba cafe, and Kion, recovering from his all-nighter working on the SOS Brigade's film, wanders sleepily among the exhibits. Haruhi and Yuki fill in for a rock band on vocals and guitar when two of the members have last-minute medical situations. The performance is a smashing success, and the band thanks Haruhi effusively. Afterward, Haruhi is restless. Kion thinks that Haruhi is rethinking her life due to the new experience of being appreciated by others, but it turns out she just wants to start up her own rock band. Kion finds a mysterious letter in his locker directing him to come to the classroom, where Ryoko Asakura, the class president, confronts him. Also an alien, Ryoko attempts to kill Kion in order to provoke a reaction from Haruhi. She is stopped by Yuki, who nullifies Ryoko's data, which is reported as her transferring out of school. The sudden transfer arouses Haruhi's interest. Kion meets Mikuru's older self, who has traveled from the future to tell him that Snow White is the clue essential to his future. Kion is dragged into helping Haruhi investigate Ryoko's strange transfer. During the search, Haruhi tells Kion about her childhood and how she became obsessed with paranormal phenomena in an effort to overcome her feelings of insignificance. Itsuki later tells Kion about the theory of the anthropic principle correlating with Haruhi, believing Kion is the reason Haruhi was able to wish extraterrestrial beings to exist. He brings Kion into a sealed reality, where he and his fellow Espers destroy a giant blue entity subconsciously created by Haruhi. One night, Haruhi's power is activated, trapping her and Kion in a sealed reality at their school. While Haruhi investigates, Kion is greeted by Itsuki, who tells him that Haruhi is creating a new world, retaining only Kion from the old one. Yuki contacts Kion via computer and gives the hint of Sleeping Beauty as a means to stop Haruhi. As blue giants appear and begin to destroy the school and surrounding area, Kion kisses Haruhi, returning them both to the old world. Haruhi believes the whole experience to have been a nightmare but puts her hair in a ponytail in accordance with the wished Kion expressed in the sealed reality. If you guys want a part 2 to this anime, make sure to subscribe and also comment down below sayonara.